ESPN Speed World welcomes you to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. It's round number 7 of the 1998 IJSBA Big Red Jet Sports Tour. Today is the Big Red Racing Jersey Classic. Seaside Heights, New Jersey is known for all of its wild amusement park rides, but today the wildest ride will be in the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside of my co-host Robbie Floyd, and as we said, today it's a surf race. The last round up in Montreal was a closed course calm water race, and today with the points chase heating up, that surf is really going to come into play, Robbie.
Yeah, it's a very tough track out there, and we've seen the guys who've been in the points lead. They're starting to drop back. A lot of pressure on them. McCluggage, he's making a move on Rios, but also in the stand-up class, the jammer, Jeff Jacobs, he's back on the move again. He's putting the pressure on.
The surf races are the toughest and most exciting on the IJSBA Tour. Let's take a look at the buoy layout here in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, so we can see what today's course is going to look like as these guys battle it out here in the Jersey Classic.
Well, Raph, as you can see, it's a clockwise course. We're not doing a dual split or a dual start. Now watch that left-hand side right after the front straightaway. It's very tough. They're going parallel into the waves, parallel, back with the waves, parallel, and back at them again. It's going to be a tough one.
Well, we've got highlighted coverage for you here of our sit-down class here today. And earlier, before the races got started, Robbie had an opportunity to talk to the two men who are battling out for the runabout title.
I just have to be on the top 3 every single weekend, so that takes a lot of pressure off me, and I just need to be consistent, qualify third, and if I finish third and qualify in a man the last 2 rounds, I'm still winning, so hopefully we'll do better than this.
The Kawasaki's running great as usual. Like I said before, we had a slow start, but we're gaining some momentum. You know, the only thing we can do, you know, we're down pretty, like 38 points, so we're going to have to go out and win every race and hope for some, you know, luck on our side.
Now, the biggest problem for Chris McCluggage was those first few races of the year, Robbie.
Yeah, that missed buoy at round number 1 really just didn't start his year off like he wanted it.
Well, they call it the sit-down class as they get underway, but Robbie, nobody's going to be in the saddle here today. Look at them flying over the waves.
Yeah, look at those big waves. Look at farthing way up in the air, Mac, all of them. They're not going to be sitting down much.
Chris McCluggage with another great jump out front. Once we've gotten to the second half of the season, he's been a rocket out of the gate.
Well, it's his first year on the Kawasaki. He's been doing a lot of testing throughout the year. Some of these guys have been running on pretty much the same package they were on last year.
Well, Mac trying to get used to that boat here at New Jersey. We asked him, how will the boat work at Seaside?
My boat, you know, I mean, you saw it work in rough water in Coronado. You saw it work in flat water in Canada. So I just think my boat's got really good power. Darren's, you know, does a heck of a job on that. He's got those engines up to really good horsepower. So, I mean, anywhere on this course is good for my boat.
It seems to work pretty good in mid-flight too, Robbie. He's catching a lot of air out there.
Yeah, he mentioned Darren. Darren inspires a lot of confidence in Chris. With him, he thinks he can beat anybody.
There you see Nicholas Rios right on the back of Chris McCluggage. That's about as close as he would get on a course he was prepared for.
He's very technical. It's a lot of throttle control, flaps control, head, conditioning. I'm ready.
Nicholas Rios, one of the best conditioned athletes in the division.
Yeah, he gets on that stair stepper in between motos and stuff after practice. He's not scared to train, let's put it that way.
That's what Chris Machetti's view was as Chris McCluggage rocketed by, putting him a lap down. Fish struggled here today.
Fish had a hard time. You'll see Nicholas also getting by him. Look at that air he caught.
Tremendous pictures from on board with Chris Machetti. McCluggage looking over his shoulder, but would never be challenged here on this day, really, as Nicholas Rios came home in second behind Chris McCluggage. So McCluggage did exactly what he needed to do. Picked up another win. Nicholas Rios comes home in second. Robbie talked to the two contenders.
I wish we didn't take off the 3 weeks. I haven't been able to. I rode some, but I didn't ride as much as I should have, and I got a little tired out there. You know, I'll admit it. And but you know, I mean, I was still good enough to get first place.
Still, your main goal is win next week.
Yeah, we just got to do what we did this week, and hopefully, you know, something doesn't happen right for the other teams.
I ride right now a little more conservative than I used to, just because, you know, I'm more mature, and but I'm also, you know, just as much as angry, if not more, to win races. But sometimes you have to lose some to get to win a championship.
Well, here's a look at the point standings as they head to the last round in Lake Michigan. McCluggage is going to have to win and hope that Rios has a really bad day up near the Windy City. When we come back, we'll have a look at the freestyle competition. The Big Red Racing Jersey Classic is brought to you by Yamaha Watercraft, solid thinking for a liquid world, and by McGraw Insurance, the nation's largest supplier of personal watercraft insurance. Welcome back to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. A lot of great rides here on the boardwalk, famous for their arcades and carnival games. Some great rides to get yourself twisting and turning in the air, but to get twisting and turning on the water, the best place to go. How about the beach for freestyle competition? That's exactly where we are. Now, if you want to go freestyle, well, we're the ones to bring it to you with our Freestyle 101. And today's trick, the kilowatt flop by Kenneth Wood.
The kilowatt back flop is simply done by accelerating about half throttle, letting off the gas, punching the gas to break the back end of the ski loose. Let it slide around, let the back of the ski drop in the water, lean back, pull on the handle pole of the ski and let the ski flop back and over on top of you. Once at that point, just simply log roll over and ride out.
Well, as we kick off our freestyle competition, Lloyd Brewski, the first one up. This was where Showtime grew up, so the adrenaline was pumping.
I grew up a quarter mile from here. If I'm going to win anything this year, it's going to be right here. This crowd's going to go nuts. I've probably got 60, 70 family members here. I got old school teachers here. I've been back here for 18 years, and I actually grew up a quarter mile from here. I got goosebumps talking about it. So the emotions are running high. I'm going to try and keep the adrenaline under control, and it'll probably be a hell of a routine.
This is Lloyd's house.
Right on.
Well, Lloyd came out smoking and gave it everything he had, Robbie.
Yeah, he had a lot of pressure on him. He said all those people were out there. He was in the newspaper, all the media about him. Everybody loves Lloyd. That's why it's showtime.
Lloyd Brewski on his farewell tour. Pretty good scores, too. Came up with a third-place finish. Well, the man who has been really looking like the one to beat all season, of course, Rick Roy. How would he handle that title pressure?
I'll try to throw as much jump as I can and hit as many waves as I can, and I'll try to fill my routine with a lot of tricks and just give the best show I can.
Airtime has been the name of the game on the Freestyle Tour in '98, and Rick Roy had a lot of hang time.
He looked good out there today, but he had some difficulties. The boat was bogging on him a little bit, and it looked like it was going to open the door, but look at Rick. He's still able to get air 180 no step big time.
Very nice with 3 moves back to back to back like that. Ooh, little bobble there. Fell off on the last trick, Robbie, and that would open the door.
That opened the door. Rick was able to come up with a good score, but only get enough for second.
Here you see the point totals of 48.7. Left a crack in the door for Eric Malone, the man who is chasing Rick Roy. Boy, when it comes to airtime, you know, Robbie, Eric Malone has been awesome this year.
Yeah, he has. Look at that one-handed aerial barrel roll. Pretty good sized waves, but he's definitely making the most of it no-handed there.
He got a win at Montreal, and that would keep him in the title hunt, but how is he going to catch Rick Roy?
Last weekend in Canada was a great win for me. I need that win all year, and it's definitely a good booster, but I'm not going to give up the whole tour.
Eric Malone developed double trouble. Rick Roy developed the Richter invert. I don't think there's been 2 riders, Robbie, at the same time who have pushed the envelope of freestyle competition like these 2 have this year.
No, and Eric's very optimistic. He's not giving up. He knows he has one more round. Look, great scores. We'll see what happens next week in Chicago.
That second straight win would really help Eric Malone's chances. Rick Roy comes in second. Fischetti and Wood round out the top 5. Eric Malone will have a shot at this title as they head to the season finale in Chicago, 3 points away from Rick Roy. Here's Eric.
It's coming down to that last event at Chicago. What are you going to pull out?
Well, it's going to be tough. I could possibly tie with Rick, but the problem, what will happen is he'll end up winning the overall if we tie because of more wins on his part. But if he would take a third next weekend, then that puts me up there ready to win for the national tour.
You need some help. You buying Lloyd and Kilowatt some dinners?
I don't know. I'm taking Kilowatt for a week, and we're going to go train real hard.
Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
Well, here's a look at the rest of the freestyle competition from Seaside Heights. Hey, don't you go away. We'll be right back with Brewski. You know, virtual reality is a great thing. You can practice in the arcade, and when you get good enough, well, you just kind of blend it into real life. And this is Chris Fischetti giving us a look as he warms up for for the pro ski race coming up, where Victor Sheldon on that green and white Kawasaki has been the man to beat. But a turnaround in Montreal has set up a great chase for the championship. We talked to the two title contenders.
Last weekend, I felt like I raced really good, you know, other than just one small bobble. But, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, as faster than anyone out there. So, you know, that helps my confidence to know that, you know, I just got to tone it down a little bit and finish the race with the prop side down.
This weekend is kind of a statement weekend for myself because not only do I necessarily want to go out and win this weekend, I want to go out and win in a certain manner. You know, I want to go out and just get some confidence under my belt so I can head into the end of the season, at least the next round in Chicago, with a lot of confidence, because confidence is everything when you're a stand-up rider.
When the flag drops, the holders will let go, and Robbie, they'll be charging off into the surf.
Yeah, they're enabling them to have two holders on the line. You can see that surf condition is very tough on the riders.
The start underway, and Chris Bichetti with a great jump out front on the Sea-Doo.
And he wasn't on the inside either. He come from that outside, closed it off, and look at everybody having to slow down a little bit. Boy, Fish having a tough time out there.
Boy, really battling. You can see how big the surf is here in New Jersey. We go on board with Chris Bichetti.
Boy, that's the view he wants all day long right there.
Here's a look from our Yamaha Skycam. And Jacobs bobbles coming out of that corner.
Oh, way up there on the top side of the screen. Jacobs having a hard time, drops back. He's been very inconsistent this year. I don't know what Jeff's deal is.
There's Tara Chrisman on the inside of the light blue boat. That's Mike Coe dipping into the water on the Polaris there. Number 700. Coe doing everything he can hang on, and there's Jacobs behind him. What's that, about 5th position?
Jacobs having trouble. It looks like Rob Flores on the outside. They battled it out all last year. It's one of the first times we'll see Flores up near the front. Jacobs going back.
Chris Bichetti, the Flying Fish, doing just that. Out front and leading in front of the slasher, Victor Sheldon.
It's exactly what Victor wanted. A good start. Leave Jeff behind. That's his main competition for the year. He's just going to play it smooth right now. Fish, he's been reeling him in all year. We'll see what happens.
Here comes Chris Bichetti. He's trying to stay out front, pushing good and hard. Sheldon looks so much smoother than everybody else, and I guess that's what the points lead can do for you. Here's Jacobs in the middle of this pack, gets around Coe. Now he bobbles right there, tries to get around Flores, and will come up behind Tara Chrisman. And now he just whistles right by Tara Chrisman, and Robbie, that's 3 riders in just 2 corners.
He's keeping it low, keeping it on the inside. Everything's staying hooked up to the water. It's a lot shorter distance when you're going inside of everyone.
Now he's right behind Jeff Sutherland. That'll be the fight for 3rd. Coe is up to 5th. Let's check in with Robbie Floyd, who's down on the beach with Jeff Jacobs Tuner.
He's been dominating for so long. Victor's actually giving him a run for his money this year and doing well. Has Jeff been getting down on himself?
No, Jeff's you know, he's a proven professional, and he'll rise, and he knows what he has to do, and we're just going to keep trying to plug at it till we do it.
Toughest year in memory for the 7-time champion, Jeff Jacobs again. Into the drink. Robbie, he is just pushing so hard.
He's trying so hard, closed in on Sutherland. He almost did the one thing that all stand-up riders don't want to do, is come up into the tray of the rider in front of them. You can hit them from the side, but don't come up and take out their Achilles.
He lost a position to Mike Coe and then gets it right back and goes back after Sutherland. He has got to be in great physical shape because he is using up a lot of energy.
It's like he's country dancing. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, though. He's not going many places.
Well, being the Texas boy that you are, you would know about country dancing. Now he touches to the inside of Sutherland and picks up the spot. Up to 3rd now is Jeff Jacobs.
Sutherland's still going to hold that inside. It's going to be a drag race down this front straightaway, and the waves are coming at him from the side. It's going to be tough.
Meanwhile, up front, no problems for the Flying Fish. Chris Bichetti having a smooth run up front of the Sea-Doo. There's our Yamaha Skycam giving you the view as the Kawasaki of Victor Sheldon, the points leader, closing in.
Victor's knocking on the door now. Uh-oh, sticks a foot out. The same problem he had at Montreal. He tries doing a little bit of leg drag, and it sometimes will cost you, but he drops back a little bit, but he'll reel him in again, I'm sure.
But you know what, Rob? Oh, and down into the drink goes Victor Sheldon as he hits one of the buoys.
For a guy that's supposed to be playing it conservative out there in the points lead, it doesn't look like Victor's very conservative. He's not, he's not swinging wide and smooth. He's cutting those corners real tight.
Well, he was starting to close in on this man, Chris Bichetti, giving you this onboard look, and he was starting to smell a chance at victory. Can he get him? We'll find out when we come back to New Jersey. Stay with us. Welcome back to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Ralph Shaheen along with Robbie Floyd as you watch a tremendous fight for the lead in pro ski. On the Sea-Doo, your leader is Chris Fischetti. As you go on board with him, he's being chased by the white and green Kawasaki of the points leader, Victor Sheldon. And boy, there are not two more grizzled veterans in pro ski competition. Look at this contact as Sheldon gets inside of Fischetti.
Hello, that's what Victor said. Came to the inside, now he's working on the outside. They're going to try and do the opposite. Now Victor, see, there he goes to the inside.
Banging holes as they work their way around the buoys, and look at this, Fischetti now sets up to the outside.
Doing the opposite of what your competitor does side by side.
Down the short chute to the next buoy, and oh, Sheldon! Right across the hull of Fischetti. They're down in the water, but Victor is able to stay on board. He hasn't lost contact. He's going to ride away.
Victor caught some air and went right over the nose of Fish, and Jacobs getting by for second.
And Fischetti is still swimming for his boat, the rescue unit, over to give him a tow. He'll climb back aboard the Sea-Doo and try to continue on. He tries to plug the lanyard back in. Meanwhile, Sheldon is just sailing away with the lead.
Victor did the #1 rule. Hang on to that ski. Don't let go, and it's paying off for him dividends right now.
Fischetti underway once again, but he is way, way back. Let's look at this again. Here's the first contact as Victor stuffs it inside.
Swapping fiberglass. Victor's going to go to the inside. He's still set up, but he knows he can't make the pass there.
Now to the next set of buoys, and watch this. Both of them bouncing through the surf. Fischetti with the perfect move as he cuts back to the inside, retaking the lead.
Fish doing the exact opposite, the same thing that Victor did. Everything looks good right here, but watch when they go into this right-hand turn. Fish stays low, hooked up to the ground, and there goes Victor right over the nose and takes them both out.
Oh, and then Victor just eats the handlebars, but never lets go. Look at him fighting to hang on in the water. Look at this again. Watch Victor eat the bars. Bam! Right in face first.
AP Designs or Troy Lee is going to have them some bell helmet work here very soon. Man, this is perfect camera work as they're doing everything right in the race. It's just one little bobble. The wave caught them at the wrong way. There's got to be some hull damage. Look at that. Inside Victor, they're stuffing each other. That's all about racing, Ralph. But just one of those intangibles. They make this right-hand turn. One stays low, one took the high road, and right over the top Victor goes.
And that was the onboard look from Chris Fischetti as he watches his boat motor away. Now, up front, there's Victor leading this one with Jacobs giving chase. There's Jacobs coming around that yellow buoy. He's in second, but he's got problems, Robbie, fighting with his goggles. He's still not running as good as the 7-time champ should.
Well, I'll tell you what he might be doing with his goggles. They usually have some type of a strap holder on the back, but as much as he's been bouncing around, the goggles are probably cutting off his breathing or squinting his eyes or something. He just says, I got to get these things out of my face.
And with the salt water here of the Atlantic Ocean, that's not going to help any.
No, it's not going to make it easy for him, the salt water, especially if he's wearing any type of hair gel or anything like that. Those things get in your eyes, it's unbearable.
Hair gel? What's that all about?
I don't know, but try it sometime.
I don't know, Robbie, you've talked about hair gel and line dancing all in the same show. I'm getting a little concerned about you. Victor Sheldon out front as Jeff Jacobs rounds the buoys. That's the important part about laying out the course, as Robbie found out earlier today.
You know, most sanctioning bodies come into their race site and they already have the course designed for them. You either have asphalt, hay bales, banners, something defines the course. Where the IJSBA things are a lot different. There's a lot of buoys out there, cinder blocks, chain, rope, and a lot of people to make this thing happen. A lot more than meets the eye.
You know, the possibilities are endless in setting up racetracks, but we come in with a game plan. We want to maintain as much consistency in the length of the race as possible. So we utilize basically a 1 minute or to maybe as low as 50 seconds for a benchmark. To set up in the ocean in waves like this, it's very difficult because we're dragging the anchoring systems and the buoys off from the shore, and the boats are harder to control when the waves are picking them up and bouncing them around. We utilize a 36-inch buoy. And below the buoy, we have approximately 5 feet of 5/16" chain link. There's a 20-pound weight under that to keep the buoy upright. It doesn't lay over on its side. On the bottom is an actual anchor. We have cinder block, regular concrete construction block, chained together. Sometimes we have to, because the waves are so big, we actually use a boat anchor.
Victor rounds another buoy laid out by Tim Trombley and the IJSBA staff. Boy, he's having a great day out front now that he's through battling with Fischetti. Robbie Floyd down on the beach, standing by with Victor's tuner. Let's find out how they think Victor's riding out here today.
What's happening with Victor? He seems to be having a lot of problems today.
I think it's just the conditions. He's trying to stay smooth, but you know, he's trying to win the race. He wants to win, even if he doesn't have to.
The Slasher going for another victory, trying to establish a stronger foothold on that championship that he's trying to claim. It'll be Victor's third pro ski title if he can hang on here in 1998. The last few buoys as Victor makes his way back to the front straightaway, and the checkered flag. The Kawasaki Mountain Rider gonna get another one here today, picking up the victory in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. What a big win for Victor Sheldon, and a tremendous fight with him and Chris Fischetti. Definitely one of the highlights of '98. Stay with us, we'll be right back. The Big Red Racing Jersey Classic has been brought to you by Polaris Personal Watercraft, ride the best. And by Kawasaki Jet Ski Personal Watercraft. Welcome back to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Chris Fischetti hangs on for a third. Mike Coe comes home in fourth. Tara Chrisman with a good ride. She'll come home in sixth. Let's take one more look at this amazing battle between Fischetti and Sheldon. Here's Robbie Floyd and Victory Lane.
This was a war of attrition. Everybody was going down, you including.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was choppy. That's a choppy one there because, you know, we weren't really prepared for it, you know, and because, you know, in the morning it was pretty flat. So, you know, this kind of came out of the blue.
Even though you won so many rounds of the first of the series, you were starting to wonder why, you know, what's wrong with me? The past couple of races just haven't been your races.
Yeah, I wish the 2-week break wouldn't have been with the 2 weeks of thinking about it, you know. So, you know, I had a lot, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff, what I need to do. And, you know, basically I just need to go out there and race like Victor Sheldon knows how to race.
Let's take a look at the points now with 1 round left to go. Sheldon with the lead over Jeff Jacobs. Tara Chrisman running solid in 5th. Here's Robbie with the fish.
Both times you've been out in front in the lead, you've had trouble. You need to come from the back of the pack. It seems like the way to win this thing.
Yeah, you know, I was just riding real conservative, and when Victor got close, I still had a lot of energy, so I just pulled the trigger and might have pulled it. Maybe I should have been pulling it a little higher and jumping a little farther, but last round Chicago, hopefully we'll see the flying fish out in front.
Arguably the best action of the tour so far in '98. Hey, look at this. Dustin Matsouris, Robbie, with a big win in Pro Runabout 1200.
His first runabout victory as a pro. Aaliyah Jones with her second win in the Pro-Am Women's Ski.
She upsets Tara Chrisman here in the Atlantic Ocean. Well, it's been a great weekend here for the gang at Kawasaki. Chris McCluggage wins the runabout class, and Victor Sheldon with the pro ski win. For Robbie Floyd, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Jersey.